In 2018, the FBI showed up at a remote Pennsylvania field with backhoes, jackhammers, and armored trucks in the middle of the night. They were hunting for hundreds of millions in buried Confederate gold. Their official story was simple. They said they found nothing. But here is the problem. A geophysical survey had already detected a 7 to 9 ton mass underground with the density of gold. So either the FBI is lying, or the most powerful secret society in American history hid their fortune so well that even the federal government cannot find it. This is the story of the Knights of the Golden Circle. Picture this. It is July 4th, 1854 in Lexington, Kentucky. While most Americans are celebrating Independence Day, George Washington Lafayette Bickley is founding a secret organization with an audacious goal to create a massive slave empire spanning from the American South through Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean. He called it the Knights of the Golden Circle, named after a theoretical circle with a radius of 2,400 miles, centered on Havana, Cuba. But here is the thing about Bickley. He was essentially a con man. Born in Virginia in 1823, he had already tried his hand at medicine, claiming to be a graduate of the University of London who studied under a renowned physician. The university had no record of him. He had written an anti-slavery novel in 1853, trying to capitalize on Uncle Tom's Cabin's success. It flopped spectacularly. When creditors came calling in Cincinnati, he disguised himself with false whiskers and checked into a hotel as General Baez. They recognized him anyway, so he fled the city at midnight. Yet this charlatan managed to create something remarkable. The Knights of the Golden Circle would grow into one of the most influential secret societies in American history, with tentacles reaching into the highest levels of government and potentially into one of the nation's most shocking crimes. The organization operated with 3 distinct levels. At the bottom were the Knights of the Iron Hand, the military wing. Above them sat the True Faith, responsible for financing operations. At the top ruled the Knights of the Columbian Star, the political leadership. By 1858, when the KGC merged with another secret group called the Order of the Lone Star, they commanded 15,000 members. Within a year, that number had swelled to around 50,000, though Bickley claimed over 100,000 followers. In Texas alone, General Elkanah Greer commanded 4,000 military knights spread across 21 local chapters, or castles as they called them. These were not just weekend warriors playing dress-up. These men were serious about their cause. In 1860, they attempted their first major operation, the conquest of northern Mexico. Several hundred knights assembled near Brownsville, Texas, ready to march south and claim Mexican territory for their Golden Circle empire. They even secured a treaty with Manuel Doblado, governor of the Mexican state of Guanajuato, who promised them half his state's tax revenue in exchange for military support against Mexico City. But the invasion was a disaster. Poor planning, insufficient resources, and organizational chaos doomed the expedition before it truly began. Then came Lincoln's election in November 1860, and everything changed. The Knights shifted their focus from expansion to secession, becoming a crucial network for Confederate sympathy in both North and South. Among their alleged recruits was a young actor named John Wilkes Booth, initiated into the Baltimore Castle in late 1860. The KGC's involvement in pre-war plotting runs deep. In February 1861, they participated in what became known as the Baltimore Plot, a scheme to assassinate President-elect Lincoln as he traveled to Washington for his inauguration. Detective Alan Pinkerton, aided by Kate Warne, America's first female detective, uncovered the plot and rerouted Lincoln's train, likely saving his life. That same month, 150 knights joined Ben McCulloch's force that captured the U.S. Army arsenal at San Antonio, providing weapons for the Confederate cause. As the war progressed, many knights enlisted in regular Confederate units, but the organization continued operating in the shadows. Bickley himself served as a Confederate surgeon until his arrest as a spy in Indiana in July 1863. The federal government was so concerned about KGC activities that they held him without trial for over 2 years. The organization's survival instincts were remarkable. In 1863, sensing increased federal scrutiny, they rebranded as the Order of American Knights. A year later, they became the Sons of Liberty, with Clement Vallandigham, the most prominent Copperhead leader, as its supreme commander. Federal investigators estimated these successor organizations had up to 300,000 members across the Midwest by 1864. In Indiana alone, multiple sources reported around 100,000 active members. But it is April 14, 1865 that forever linked the Knights to infamy. When John Wilkes Booth shot Abraham Lincoln at Ford's Theater, investigators quickly discovered his KGC connections. While the evidence remains largely circumstantial, many historians believe the assassination was not the act of a lone gunman, but part of a broader KGC conspiracy. The organization had the network, the motivation, and the membership to support such an operation. After Lincoln's death and the war's end, you might expect the Knights to fade into history. Instead, they evolved into something else entirely. It became the foundation for the Ku Klux Klan. Historians describe the Knights of the Golden Circle as the model for the Klan, sharing similar organizational structures, secrecy, and intimidation tactics. The seeds Bickley planted in 1854 would grow into a far more dangerous and lasting legacy. Bickley himself died in poverty in August 1867, just 2 years after his release from prison. But the legends surrounding his organization were just beginning. Here is where the story gets really interesting. The Knights did not just fade away, they buried their money, lots of it. We are talking about an estimated $5 million in face value, potentially worth hundreds of millions today when you account for the gold content of Civil War-era coins. The treasure stories are remarkably specific. KGC members robbed Union Army payrolls, looted banks, and accumulated vast wealth throughout the war. Some researchers believe Jesse James served as a KGC treasurer, helping to hide stolen gold in secret caches across the American Southwest. As defeat became inevitable, they allegedly buried this fortune, intending to fund a second Confederate Revolution that never came. Modern treasure hunters take these stories very seriously. In 2013, the Saddle Ridge Hoard was discovered in Northern California, $10 million worth of gold coins dating back to 1847. No one knows who buried it, but some researchers believe it represents a KGC payment cache. The timing fits, the location makes sense for their operations, and the sheer scale suggests organizational backing rather than individual accumulation. But the most dramatic modern development happened in 2018 in Pennsylvania. The FBI received a tip about a massive Confederate gold shipment that supposedly went missing near Dent's Run in 1863. A geophysical consulting firm detected a 7 to 9 ton underground mass with the density of gold. That much gold would be worth hundreds of millions of dollars today. The FBI obtained a warrant and conducted a secretive excavation in March 2018. Locals reported hearing backhoes and jackhammers working overnight, followed by a convoy that included armored trucks. The official story? They found nothing, but treasure hunters are not buying it, launching legal battles to force the FBI to release records of what they actually discovered. The Knights' influence extends even into popular culture. They appear as villains in the 2007 Disney film National Treasure Book of Secrets, and they have been featured on multiple History Channel documentaries. Researchers like Warren Gettler and Bob Brewer have written best-selling books, including Rebel Gold, arguing that KGC treasure networks operated well into the 20th century, guarded by descendants who never abandoned the cause. What makes the Knights of the Golden Circle so enduring is not just their Civil War activities, it is how they represent the persistence of alternative histories and hidden networks in American society. Founded by a con man with impossible dreams, they attracted thousands of followers willing to risk everything for a vision of Confederate empire. When that dream died, they transformed into something else, then something else again, always adapting, always surviving. Today, whether you are a Civil War historian studying secret societies, a treasure hunter following cryptic maps, or simply someone fascinated by America's hidden history, the Knights of the Golden Circle represent a uniquely American story, one where reality and legend intertwine so completely that even the FBI cannot separate fact from fiction. Their Golden Circle may never have existed, but their golden mystery certainly does, buried somewhere between documented history and enduring hope, waiting for the next generation of seekers to uncover the truth. The Knights were just the beginning. When the Confederacy fell, the gold did not just disappear on its own. Someone moved it, someone hid it, and someone made sure the government would never find it. The full story of that missing $15 million goes deeper than anything we have covered today, and the lies go all the way to the top.